Hello my fellow weirdos, welcome back to my channel. For today's video I thought I would count down 10 of my favourite horror bookstagrammers. So if you guys aren't aware, I started out my social media foray, career, whatever, in Instagram. I started posting about the books that I was reading and the things that I was writing on there. Met some amazing people, got to collaborate with fantastic artists. I love Instagram, and it is sort of my primary channel, social media platform, and it's sort of where I have my kind of biggest following. I suppose where I'm most successful, if that's what you want to call it. So it holds a very special place in my heart. There are some amazing bookstagrammers who specialize in horror content primarily. And there are so many that I follow and they're all amazing, and it was really hard for me to choose just 10, but I've whittled it down as best I could. For clarification, obviously there are lots of bookstagrammers who do feature horror frequently or often, but I'm trying to look at the ones who are mostly focused on horror, and who to me are kind of the most informative and whose accounts are the most sort of enjoyable to look at. I've also stuck with English speaking accounts because obviously I'm an English speaker, and the captions and the reviews and stuff are more useful to me in English. So that's kind of eliminated a bunch of really great bookstagrammers as well, just because I suck and only speak one language. But that's kind of how I looked into it. I could probably do like 50 of these lists, but anyway. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So yes, I will put the links for everybody's Bookstagram down below, and my own as well, because if you're on Instagram and you're not following me, then like, what are you even doing here? Okay. I do focus primarily on horror. So yes, and if you have any recommendations or you like any of these guys, then comment down below and give them to me. But let's just dive into the list. This is in no particular order. I'm going to start off with Marcy of Marcy Reads. She's actually also a booktuber, and she's on here and she's brilliant, and you're probably maybe already following her on here. But she also has a really great Bookstagram account. I really like her pictures and her style, and she gives really informative reviews on there as well as on here. She is also like ridiculously stunning. I don't know if that helps with anybody wanting to follow her. And her account just has this like fun, colorful vibe. So definitely recommend her. She's very informative, very well read, reads around a lot more than me. I can't read as quick as all these bookstagrammers. Next up, I have Rochelle, who is She Reads Horror at an Instagram. She actually hosts the Queens of Horror book club, and she's really, really into the horror community. She gets really involved. Again, I really love the aesthetics of her account. She's a really lovely person, really, really approachable, nice to speak to. She does informative reviews. She reads around a lot. Like I said, she's very involved. She sets up book clubs. She sets up like kind of groups for people to support each other on Instagram. She's just really involved and a really lovely person, very approachable. So if you're looking at book recommendations, you can also you should just talk to her directly, and I guarantee she'll talk to you back. She's a lovely, lovely girl. So yeah, she's a bit of a babe too, actually. I think this whole list is just a bunch of horror babes. Maybe that's what I should call it. Although I think I do have a couple of boys in here, so they might be offended if I call them babes. Anyway, so yes, great account. Thoroughly recommend her as well. Coming up, we have one of my boys, Alex of Finding Montauk 1 is his Instagram name. Alex is hilarious, okay? So friggin' funny. He does really great TikToks and reels about being like a horror reader and a reader in general. He reads other genres, but he does mostly focus on horror. And he does like really great reviews of ridiculously cheesy like horror romance novels and stuff. I saw him do a review which was like a romance between a woman and the unknown pandemic-y plague that is going on. And it's like a physical manifestation of the global event. And I look like so terrible, but he does, like, he reads these books so you don't have to. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, his account is really fun. He's got an amazing collection of books and horror memorabilia, and I love him. He's absolutely adorable. So definitely recommend Alex. Then we have Job is 89 is the Instagram handle. Her name is Johan, and she's actually from Northern Ireland as well, which gets her added points because, you know, Northern Ireland horror babes got to stick together. She has a really informative blog, which is really, really great resource for getting book recommendations, and she writes really thorough reviews. She's like a really prolific reader. I don't know how she reads as fast as she does, but she's like constantly reading new books and always putting up her reviews and her recommendations. So she's a really great one to follow. Like I said, she's another babe in the list here. And she isn't afraid to give a negative review. You know, if she didn't like the book, she's very frank about it, which I really appreciate. Next, we have Mindy of Gowsy33 is her Instagram handle. Mindy, again, super involved in the horror community, another babe. She is really, again, prolific reader, great reviewer, knows her stuff about horror. She has a really epic collection of horror memorabilia as well, especially pins. She has this amazing, like horror pin badge collection, and even like the badge displays that she has. I'm so jealous. She's like, she knows her stuff, and she's just got a really, really wonderful collection. I love her pictures. She really sets her pictures up beautifully, and they're always really interesting visually to see pop up on my feed. So another great recommendation there. Next up, we have Spookish Mommy, spelled the American way, aka Ashley. She is a co-founder of Nightworms, which is a really great American horror subscription. I have unboxed one on this channel before. I'll put a link down below to that unboxing. Unfortunately, because I live in the UK, I can't afford the postage all the time, or I would be getting that subscribed every month. But darn it, I don't have enough money. Help me, I'm poor. I'm just going to do that little meme there from Bridesmaids. Ashley knows her stuff, okay? She's like a horror expert, a horror book expert. No, that sounds gross. She knows her stuff. so sorry. She also has the most ridiculously stunning bookshelves with all her horror memorabilia and books, and she takes the most beautiful pictures, like really, really beautiful. Like I kind of like appreciate the reviews, and I appreciate the content and the recommendations, but I also just love a beautiful picture, you know, because that's what kind of Instagram is at the end of the day. It is a photo sharing website. So I really appreciate a pretty picture, and Ashley does a really good job. She takes lovely pictures. She knows her stuff, great reviews, informative, and again, super involved in the horror community. She is one of the co-founders of Nightworms, so she's really involved and knows her stuff. I'm going to keep saying that, knows her stuff. Okay. Then we have The Exorcism of Emily Reed is her handle, aka Emily. And Emily, really, really nice person. Like I said, all these women are like complete horror babes. She does read other genres, but primarily sticks with horror. And again, she reads so much. I really need to learn to read faster. She's really informative. She gives really good reviews. And her account is really visually interesting. And she also has a great collection of little goodies that she posts in amongst her pictures, which I appreciate. Her page is very aesthetically pleasing, and another really nice person. So really good for recommendations. Right. One here is one of my most recent finds. It's ink_fiction, is her name, aka Jess. And she's not been on very long. She's only got 16 posts. She's already got 1,000 odd followers at this stage of filming, and her page is beautiful. That's like, I was immediately drawn to her photographs. She takes really, really gorgeous pictures of the books, really interesting, using props, and kind of creates this like really textured picture. And I really appreciate the whole thing. It's just very aesthetically pleasing to me to go through her account. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing her grow, and I know she will. She's going to do really, really well. And she's lovely. She got in contact with me, and we've chatted, and she's a really, really nice person. Again, like mostly horror, and she, like, you know, she's really passionate about it, good reviews, etc. Definitely, like, you'll just look at her pictures and you'll see what I mean. Then we have Morality in Horror is the handle, and her name is Mona. Definite horror babe. She is beautiful, and her, like, she takes the cutest little pictures of her with the books and making little faces and stuff, and she's adorable. She knows her stuff. She knows her stuff. Very knowledgeable on her horror. She has read like crazy amount of books. Like, she's like always reading and reviewing. Again, like, all these women I really admire. And Alex. Sorry, Alex. You're like the token boy in the mix. But they all like read so quickly and like are constantly reviewing, and I'm like, I'm like lucky between my job and my kid if I can read like 2 books a month. But she is brilliant for reviews, really, really nice person as well. And again, fantastic horror collection of both books and like other goodies. So I do like to see her pictures. And then finally, going to be no surprise to everybody because it's in her name. It's Sadie, aka Mother Horror. So Mother Horror by name, Mother Horror by nature. She is massive in the horror community. She not only co-founded Nightworms with our other spookish mummy over earlier, but she is a reviewer, like a horror reviewer, book reviewer for several magazines and publications and websites. She's constantly promoting other horror authors, horror publication services, horror publishers. She's always trying to help out the little guy. She helps promote fellow, you know, booktubers and bookstagrammers. And she's just so involved in the community. She's incredibly passionate about what she does. And you can tell that when you read her reviews. She knows her, like, she is the most knowledgeable. Like, bow down to Mother Horror. She knows everything. If she doesn't know it, it's not worth knowing about horror. Okay? Sadie knows everything. So fantastic to go to for reviews and book recommendations. The amount of money this woman has cost me because I've seen a book pop up on her feed and read a review and went, well, crap, I have to buy that now. But yeah, she is just the mother of the horror community, and I appreciate her. I appreciate all these ladies, plus Alex. Poor Alex is like the only boy on my list. But also he's a horror babe too. So I think this should be the top 10 horror bookstagram babes. They are all really, what they've all got in common is that they all love horror. They're all really passionate about it. They all want to share that passion with the world in their own unique way. And they've all got their own voices and opinions, which are all worth listening to. I cannot recommend these 10 channels enough, guys. I personally am always checking them out and liking their pictures and getting their recommendations because I trust them. So I think you should too. Go check them out. Go follow them. You won't regret it. And that is me for now. If you have like horror bookstagrammers you want to recommend down below, particularly boys, because they were kind of underrepresented in my list here, put them down below and I'll do another one of these videos if this is something that you guys liked. I can do, like I said, I could do several of these because there's so many great bookstagrammers online. A lot of people kind of focus on one sort of channel. So, you know, sometimes there's a bit of crossover like with myself, but most of the time you get people who sort of focus on one area. So I think it's always good to pass that information into another platform. But that is me for now. Don't forget to subscribe to me on Insta and here. Hit the like button, do all that wonderful jazz so we can, you know, communicate and get to know each other better and pass our own recommendations along. And that is me for now. Bye-bye.